What's going on, everybody? So today we are checking out the updated Audi S4. And this is a full in-depth review, so in this video, you guys are gonna see every detail about the exterior, the interior. I'm obviously gonna take it for a drive out here in beautiful Palm Springs, and it's gonna be a real good time. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, everyone, so let's take a look at the updated Audi S4. Now, this car as is, right around $62,840. That's a good chunk of change, especially for a compact luxury sedan. Now, granted, this is the S4, but we're gonna see whether or not this really justifies that price point. It is a nice looking car though. I like this Daytona gray pearl effect. It looks incredible. In the sunlight, it has a lot of pearl. It's got a lot of flake to it, and it's just a good looking color. I really like it. We're out here in Palm Springs today, and obviously the scenery makes this car look even better. And you guys can even see the red leather located right in there. We'll get to that in just a minute. But let's go ahead and come to the front here, because this is where the bulk of changes have happened. So you have an updated front grille design. It looks a lot nicer. It's wider, and then over off to the sides, you're going to have those aluminum pieces there as well. And when this car is like driving up to you, it almost makes it look very RS-like, especially with those new updated like staggered daytime running LEDs. Those look really nice. And then obviously this has full LED lights at night, so it looks great. Now, as we come off to the side, you do have functional vents located right here, so you guys can see through that little vent right there. Obviously all of your sensors located here. Big open area for intercooler and radiator, but you do have this like fake vent here, so that's just gonna be a fake piece right up top. Non-functional, but hey, can't be perfect. And then the lines on the hood are very subtle. You got two subtle lines going right there, and it's just a nice accent. Love the way it looks. Now as we come to the wheels, you have these 19-inch 5-spoke wheels, and this has the red brake calipers located right behind it as well. And these are going to be wrapped in Bridgestone Potenza tires, and these are going to be 255, 255/35s, and this is a square setup, so obviously you're going to have the same tire going all the way around the vehicle. And it's a good looking car, especially once you get back here, like from a profile. It looks really good. You can tell the compact design of it really plays into that profile. Now as we make our way back to this quarter panel area, it really reminds me of the new A6, especially with the changes they made here in the back. So you have slimmer lights back here. You've got that aluminum piece running there. And yeah, you guys can probably see it. You can vote up here, let me know, but I think it looks very A6. And it's not a bad thing. It's just a nice look. S4 badge right there. Obviously your Audi rings. You have your dual exhaust back here. So I'll let you guys go ahead and take a listen to that. All right, everyone, so here's your key for the Audi S4. It's a pretty nice key. You've got your unlock, your lock, your trunk release, panic. On the back, it's gonna have the S logo right there. And you have a physical key in here to get into the car if the battery were to die or if the battery on the car were to die. And you can see that little area located right there. Now, if you don't want to use your key, you can use this little indent there. You put your thumb on that. It's gonna beep, and that's going to lock the car. And there's a touch sensor behind here that will unlock the car. And then when you pull the handle, they kind of go upwards, which is pretty interesting. So you guys can see that right there. But let's go ahead and hop in and we'll check out the rest. All right, so getting into the Audi S4. Love these diamond quilted seats. Now hopping in, shutting the door. Solid shut, obviously not a thing rattled. There's a wider look at the interior for you guys. And to start the S4, very simple. That's going to be your start stop button, foot on the brake, and hit that to start. And I love this hockey stick style rev counter there in the middle. It's just so cool. I love the way it looks. And obviously this is going to be Audi's virtual cockpit. So if you guys have never used this, I'll get to that in just a second. But starting at the steering wheel, you have a flat bottom, 3-spoke steering wheel. You're going to have perforated leather here off to the side, smooth leather on top. You're going to have this red contrast stitching, if you guys can see that right there. S badge right there at the bottom. Obviously your Audi rings over to the right, all your media commands over to the left. This is going to be to control virtual cockpit. So I'm going to use these buttons here, and if I hit view, it'll change the look right there, which is pretty cool. And then after that, I can switch through different things like my consumption. And it's pretty simple. And using the scroll wheel, I can go up and down, see different specs about the vehicle, hit menu, and just really get in depth with this. And it's pretty simplistic to use, and that's pretty much it. So it's not often that brand new technology is this easy to use. So I do like that a lot. Paddle shifters located right back here. A little plasticky feeling, but they feel pretty much the same as you would get in, like, let's say a Golf R or something like that. Right back here, you are going to have automatic wipers. Over to the left, you're going to have your blinkers. You guys will see that. And then on the end of that stalk, that is your lane assist right there. Lighting control is going to be right over here with your interior illumination located right there. You just turn that. Now you're going to have some carbon fiber right here. It looks really, really good. And then you also have a little space there. And it's funny because the owner's manual is actually in there. So that's a pretty good size area there. Now coming up, you have a speaker here. You don't have a head-up display, unfortunately. I wish that this had that, but the dash is going to be soft touch. You have this new 10.1-inch screen that's going to come standard across the board, but it does create a little bit of glare, as you guys can see there. You can see some fingerprints right there, fingerprints there, and if I were to touch that, you can see my fingerprint showing up immediately right there. But it's a pretty good system to use. It's Audi's MMI, very simplistic. It has Apple CarPlay, so you guys can hook that up. Not sure if it has Android Auto. I'll put that in at the bottom of the video if it does, and if it doesn't, I'll put that there as well. But coming down, you're going to have more carbon fiber. Obviously, I love how your vents are very symmetrical, just this horizontal line going across. Really makes the dash feel wider and a lot more of a broad feeling interior. Dual zone climate control. You're going to have heated seats there and there for both outboard passengers, but you don't have cooled seats on this model. Now as you come down, you're going to have your drive select, your automatic start stop, traction control, parking sensors, and then you can actually turn the screen off if you just want to focus on driving, and only this screen will be functional. This one will be turned off. So it is nice at night if you don't want to have all the lights glaring in your face. Now right below here, you're going to have a USB, a 12 volt, your start stop button. You have some illuminated cup holders right there. Cup holders are obviously pretty decent. A little random cubby. I've got my phone here and it kind of like barely fits in there. So, you know, there's that. Probably should have made this a German flag for this review. And then you are going to have your shifter. Nice perforated leather, parking there. Push that, pull back to put into drive. You can slap it over here to put into manual mode, or just pull back to put it into sport. Push all the way forward for reverse. Backup camera is going to come up. You don't have a 360 camera, but you have like 360 sensors, which is interesting. And then even if I hit this camera thing, all it does is turn the camera on and off, and that's pretty much all you can do. I wish it had 360, but it's adequate, and the resolution is okay. It's not the best resolution. And of course, once you throw it in park, it'll go right away eventually, or you can just exit out. Electronic parking brake. You've got some nice leather here. You do have some illumination located right down there. As a matter of fact, you have illumination going all throughout the cabin, but unfortunately I won't be able to show you guys that on this specific car. More carbon fiber coming here with your volume knob and a little area to put your key. Armrest, which does slide forwards and backwards. I love this red leather. It's really, really plush. Contrast stitching there, lift that up. And you have a good amount of storage space located under here. Wireless charging pad. You're gonna have a USB-C right in there. So not a normal USB, just one USB-C and then your USB up there by the 12 volt. And then once again, a little bit of extra storage space located right in there. Lockable glove box, which is always nice, lined in felt. Coming up, you've got a frameless mirror right here. You're gonna have your illumination right there, full LEDs. Your moonroof right here, which looks beautiful. I love the way this looks. It always adds a lot more light into the cabin. And of course, you're gonna have your vanity mirrors with your LED located right up top. Pretty much it for the front. Let's go ahead and hop in the back and we'll check out the room. Okay, so coming to the back seat of the Audi S4. Now, I have this set to where I would be being 6 feet tall. I've got about 2 inches of knee room. My feet room is great. I can slide underneath, which is great because I actually have a lot of room to move my feet underneath these buckets. Headroom is decent. My head's definitely hitting for sure. If it weren't for my hair, I think I'd be okay, but it's only because there's like a little indent in the roof right here. The other thing is you've got a pretty big hump here in the middle, so if you're trying to put a third person here, I don't highly recommend it because they'll definitely be straddling this like horse right here. It's just super tall. You do have 2 USBs back here, a 12 volt, 2 vents back here. You can adjust your temperature back here as well. The seat quality and this red diamond leather is beautiful, and it still carries over to the back, which is nice. You fold down the armrest. You've got these interesting cup holders, which are basically like little squares, and you open and close them by using this little ribbed pattern. I've never seen a cup holder like this. It's very interesting that Audi decided to do this. So yeah, lift up this armrest though. You've got a very shallow amount of space. It's carpeted, so you won't hear things rattling around in there. And the armrest itself is decently plush. It's a little on the firm side, so I wonder if that's just because it needs to be broken in, but only time will tell for owners and things like that. Now you're gonna have a hook here, little grab handle right here. The door material quality is exactly the same as the front, so there's no downgrade in the quality of the door here. And obviously when you open and shut it, it's absolutely rock solid. It's incredible. 2 mat pockets behind here, and that's pretty much gonna be it for the back seat. Room is okay, but if you're above 6 feet tall, it's definitely not gonna be a comfortable place to sit. So let's go ahead and see the trunk space. All right, it's coming to the trunk area of the Audi S4. Now to get in, there's a button under the rings right here. You're gonna push that and it opens right up. It's not gonna be automatic. It's got like hydraulic struts and stuff throughout there. But you know, it opens pretty easily, and opening and closing it is very easy. You don't have to wait for it to go up and down. Now once you're back here, you've got a good amount of space. Obviously you can fold the rear seats down to make the space even bigger back here. You're gonna have very, very shallow areas to the left, a little bit deeper area to the right, and then underneath the floor here, you're going to have a spare. It's gonna be a donut, so it's not gonna be a full-size spare, but at least you have a spare, which is a good thing in a day and age where most people are just getting rid of the spare altogether. So that is nice to have, as long as you, of course, know how to change your tire. And then obviously you have hooks here. You can put nets. So if you don't want to hear things rolling around back here, you can option to put those nets back there. But it's pretty much going to be it. This is going to be plastic, so I do worry about this scratching up whenever you're loading things in and out of there. But this is pretty much an area that's not very luxurious anyways. But let's go ahead and close this up and see what's under the hood. All right, so coming under the hood of the Audi S4, this is the same power plant from the previous year. So there's no updates under here. Most of those are gonna be aesthetic on the exterior and on the interior. But this is gonna make 349 horsepower, 369 pound-feet of torque. This is Audi's 3-liter turbocharged V6. And it's a pretty good engine. They use this in many, many applications. And this is gonna have pretty decent fuel economy specs. You guys can see that here on the screen. This is of course going to go through Audi's 8-speed Tiptronic and to the Quattro all-wheel drive system. So let's go ahead and get this on the road and see how it drives. Here is a stopwatch on my phone. I'm also a single passenger now, so I can get the best acceleration times. I have it in dynamic mode, and when you do have it in dynamic mode, as you guys saw earlier, you have this cool little hockey stick gauge cluster. Now, this doesn't have an official launch control. I have traction all the way off. I'm in automatic mode, in dynamic, and this is pushed back into S. So this isn't the most accurate way to time 0 to 60, but I'm going to do my absolute best. I'm gonna hit start as soon as I launch and then hit stop as soon as I hit 60. So here we go. So I'm just gonna brake torque it, foot all the way down the brake, floor the accelerator, get this ready, and oh, sorry, oh gosh. And 60. Woo! That says it was 4.2. It was probably a little bit quicker than that, and I was going up a slight hill right there. That was impressive. That is a strong launch right there, you guys, man. And I will admit, this car sounds a lot better than I thought it would.
1
upshift sounds really good from the exhaust. But I mean, traditional Audi style, the steering is super light, much lighter.
Onto Wilson Valley Road.
Okay, much lighter than I would want it to be for sure. And when you're on really twisty roads like we are right now, it's not the best to have steering this light because you want it to be a little bit tighter, and you have to turn the wheel a lot in order to make the car turn. So the transmission is good. It upshifts really, really nicely. Downshifts are great. And it handles good, but the only thing is that it just doesn't have a ton of feel to it. And obviously that's what you want. You want to know what the wheels and tires are doing. And it's hard to really fault this car because I mean, it's a really good car. I feel like it's pretty entertaining to drive. It's just a little too much money for what it offers. You can get a lot of other great quality vehicles for this money. I mean, this is like, save up an extra like $6,000 and you're in like base C8 Corvette territory. I mean, I know everyone uses that as an example, but I mean, like, come on, it's really hard to beat something like that. And if I was Audi, if I knew something like that existed, it's like, man, I would throw much more at this car. It's just my personal opinion. It's still a great car. If you can pick this up used in a few years, it's so good. It's just, I don't know if it's $62,000, $63,000 good, but I'm having a good time driving it. The brakes are good. They're not the best. They're a little light. And when Brian was driving, under hard braking, it does get a little squirrely on you, but it changes direction really, really well. So the steering's very precise. It's just, once again, it doesn't have a ton of feedback, a ton of feel to it. So you just really have to learn to trust it, and that's not really something you want to do in a performance car. At least it's not something I want to do. I'd rather just get in it, know exactly what it's going to do, and build trust that way, rather than doing like a trial and error sort of thing and saying, okay, I know if I give it this much steering, it'll turn, and I don't know. But I think that if Audi were to beef up the steering a little bit, make it a little bit tighter, add a little bit more feedback to it, a little bit stickier tires. These Bridgestone Potendas are okay, but I would definitely rather have like a Michelin on here, and just throw more power at this thing. Just have a little bit more engagement to it, and it would be a really good sedan. And you can keep the price the same, sure, just give me more performance for what I'm paying for it. The interior is great. It's an Audi, so obviously you expect that. You would not get an Audi S vehicle and not expect it to have a nice interior, so that shouldn't even be a question. The tech is great. It's just the performance for dollar kind of thing. All right, everyone, so to wrap up my video on the Audi S4, I think my final thoughts are sort of positive. Really, it just comes down to if you have the money to buy this and if you're willing to spend that premium for the S4. Now, personally, like I said many times, I think there's a lot of performance vehicles you can get in this price range, but it also depends on what you're looking for in a compact luxury sedan. Do you want more performance? Do you want that fine balance between performance and luxury, which I do think that this offers? Or do you want more luxury, in which case you may even be better going to like a Mercedes-Benz or something like that? But it's a great car. I had a good time driving it. I wish the steering was a little bit more responsive, a little bit better. And I just wish the overall engagement factor was boosted just a bit. Other than that, it's a great car. Obviously, people get these tuned like crazy, and it looks fantastic. So let me know what you guys think by commenting below. And if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more content, and we will see you in the next review.